Welcome to the District 45 New Members Orientation. I am Jeff Hebert, your District 45 Program Quality Director for 2017 to 2018. Now, you have recently joined Toastmasters, and you may be asking yourself, what kind of organization have I joined? You'll notice if you go and visit other clubs that your club is unique. All clubs have the same standard format, but they express that format in very different ways. Your club should provide you information on how your specific club operates. But here, we will cover information that will help you know what to expect from your club and to introduce you to some of the district activities. Let's see, so the objectives of our training today are to help you understand how your club operates and supports you, to help you understand the organization of the district, and to help you understand the educational program, how it works, and to give you an idea of some of the new changes that will be coming in the near future. Our presenter today is Olivet Aviso, DTM. Olivet is a longtime member of Toastmasters. She served as a club officer many, many times. She was the district director of District 45, the first time that we became a President's Distinguished District. Currently, Olivet is serving as our Division A Director for 2017 to 2018. Olivet believes that a new member should have a solid start in order to gain the most fulfilling experience. So let's welcome Olivet Aviso, our trainer today.
Thank you, Jeff, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to screenshot the mission of Toastmasters International. It is something that many clubs read at the beginning of each club meeting, and it is something that you will hear often. Experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Well, here you are, new members of Toastmasters International. What are your expectations? What kinds of things can you have in your Toastmasters experience? One of the first things that you will receive, you may have received these manuals already. You will receive a competent communications manual, and the information is on the left side of your screen. And you will also receive a competent leadership manual. The information that I'm going to mention this evening is on the right side of your screen. For those of you who are new enough and have not yet received either of these manuals, I have included the page numbers that I will be referring to. One of the problems that we have in our society is that we receive lots of information, books, folders, magazines, newspapers. One of the key things that we need to remember when we receive information is we have to open the book. Many people, in their excitement for their new role in Toastmasters, jump right into the table of contents of each book, and they go to the speech projects. But there are very important pieces of information in the back of the book. Let's start with the Competent Communication Manual. If you have your manual with you, please turn to page 66. On page 66, it tells about your club meeting. As Jeff told you at the beginning, your club meeting is a unique event that happens only with your particular club. If you visit other clubs, they have a similar format in most cases, but there are certain events that are included or not included, which makes the club meeting unique. Your club will have an agenda for the meeting, and page 66 starts a reiteration of what that agenda will look like. It continues on to page 67, about halfway down. The other half of page 67 begins to describe the various roles and responsibilities that occur during a club meeting. It is useful for you to read over this, even if it's just to scan it or skim it, for the main points. Underline it. It's your book. It will help you to understand what to expect of the different roles, and also to help you to be comfortable when you volunteer to take one of those roles in the process of your club meeting. Farther on page 76, you will have a description of your club leadership. Depending upon how often you have attended your club meetings, you will probably have met most of the people whose roles are listed here on page 76 and on to page 78. Sometimes the titles, and we'll see those abbreviations, those acronyms, a little bit farther on in this program. You have your president, your immediate past president, vice president of education, vice president membership, vice president public relations, secretary, treasurer, and sergeant at arms. Take a scan of those roles and their responsibilities, because as soon as you feel comfortable, you may volunteer or be asked to run for one of these offices. Moving on to page 86, we find the project completion record. The project completion record is what your education vice president submits to Toastmasters International when you have completed your 10 speech projects. And after that time, Toastmasters will send you a certificate, congratulatory letter, and the opportunity for you to order 2 advanced manuals to continue your refining of your speaking abilities. A comment about this project completion record is that each project has a line of its own, and there is a column that says date. Please make sure that the date in which you complete your speech is listed on this column, because on the Toastmasters International website, where your vice president education has to log in your accomplishment, he or she must put in the date that you completed that project. So it is very important to make sure that you put the date in that column. Moving on to the Competent Leadership Manual, once again, you want to make sure that you open the book. Look at the table of contents. It seems fairly innocuous. The thing that people stumble over most often when they first start working with this manual is the project completion record, which is on page 64. There's a long list of things that need to be accomplished. Once again, we have 10 projects, but please make sure that you read that under the column marked project, it tells you how many of the roles that are listed in the next column will fulfill the requirement for completion of that project. To make it simple, you don't have to do all of the things that are listed in the roles column. For example, project 1, which is called listening, you only have to complete 3 of the 4 roles. So you decide which 3 you want to do, and you go back into the manual itself and find the page for project 1, and that will list the various roles that you need to fulfill, and you will then give that manual to a member that most likely your vice president education will designate, and they will fill out the questions for you. And then once again, there is a date column. Make sure that you complete the date column. On page 57, there is an appendix. The appendix is quite useful for you because it is a resource that gives you all sorts of web addresses that will give you additional information. Those are your manuals. Toastmasters International is organized at several levels. Let me just step back again. For your manuals, when you complete your manuals, you will achieve a competent communicator or CC level, or a competent leader or CL level. And as you progress beyond your basic competent communicator and your basic competent leader manuals, you have advanced levels of achievement denoted by the 3 letters under competent communicator and the 2 letters under the competent leader on the right side. Advanced communicator bronze is the AC-B. Advanced communicator silver and advanced communicator gold. The bottom notation is DTM. DTM stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. And to achieve a Distinguished Toastmaster level, which is the highest level of achievement within the context of the Toastmasters International Education and Leadership System, you have to achieve both your Advanced Communicator Gold and your Advanced Leader Silver. And once again, on the right-hand side of the slide, you will see the ALB and the ALS, and those go along with your Advanced Communicator Gold for your Distinguished Toastmaster. There is one other requirement, but that information is available to you in your manual. When you join Toastmasters, Many clubs carry on an induction for each new member. The new member is frequently voted in by the existing club membership, and then a promise is made by you to the club and by the club to you. And if you wonder what those things are that you are promising and they are promising to you, look back in your Competent Communicator manual. There is a first page and it lists a Toastmasters promise. That is the promise that you make to your club and that your club makes to you. It's a promise to support you in your quest to improve both in your speaking skills and your leadership goals. A mentor is frequently assigned to you, usually either by your education vice president or your membership vice president. It's a person who will help you, at least during the first few speeches that you plan and deliver, to give you someone who is a one-on-one friend to help you to get over that first hump. You will pay dues when you join. Some of that dues money stays with your club in the form of club dues, and some is sent to Toastmasters International for your membership. It covers the cost of your manuals, and it also covers the subscription to the Toastmaster magazine, which is a current and very informational small volume. It's nowhere near the size of your manuals and provides you with current event information, a message from the international president, an opportunity to passively network with other members of Toastmasters International. You are a member of a worldwide organization, and the Toastmaster magazine is an opportunity for you to see what your fellow members are doing around the world. Some of the leadership titles that you might have run into and you're not quite sure who is doing what, or perhaps you will be running into these titles, and I'd like to just give you a brief overview of who and what they do. At the club level, as we've said, there is the president, who is the leader of the club, the vice president education, or EVP, or vice president of education. That person is responsible for the educational program of the club, to keep track of your goals and work with you to accomplish your speaking goals and whatever it is that you are looking to do. If you are looking for a particular kind of speaking goal, for example, if you were going to be a salesperson or perhaps a teacher, they will help you to work through that plan for your speech projects. And you always have your mentor as well. VPM is Vice President of Membership. VPPR is Vice President of Public Relations. He or she will market the idea of Toastmastering to people inside of the club as well as outside of the club, and it depends upon the circumstances. There is the secretary, who takes care of all of the correspondence and the minutes of the meetings. The treasurer, self-explanatory, takes care of your dues. The sergeant at arms, not of arms, but at arms, is the person whose responsibility it is to make sure that the club's belongings are kept up-to-date, sufficient numbers of materials for the club meetings, whatever kinds of things that your particular club uses for a meeting. Make sure that there is a location for the club meetings that is suitable for the needs of the club. The Sergeant at Arms also is a greeter for people coming to the meeting, either guest or member, and often also opens the club meeting. Above the club level is the area director. The area director is responsible for a number of clubs within a given area. Next is the division. A number of areas are assigned to a division, and the division director oversees what is going on in the division and handles things like contests and training. At the district level, we have the DD, or the district director, the program quality director, and that's Jeff in this case, the club extension chair, the PRM or program manager, the AM or administrative manager, who is essentially the district secretary, and the FM, who is the finance manager, who is basically the treasurer for the district. Next, we have the regions. Districts are organized into regions, and regions have regional advisors. And finally, we have the international level. The international level is administered by the international president and also the board of international directors. Last year, we had Jim Kakachi, who is one of our very own Toastmasters in District 45, who was the international president. Don't trouble yourselves about these titles. Just know that they exist. We talk about all these people who are in levels above you and so forth, but in the final analysis, you, the member, are the base of Toastmasters International. If it were not for the members' needs and goals, Toastmasters International would not exist. You as members are the base of the pyramid. You make up the clubs, and the clubs are the base from which you will receive your local support and where you can safely learn and grow, trying out new things. Perhaps you've never spoken to a public group. This will give you the opportunity to do that without fear of people saying things that are not nice to you or making boos or catcalls. It's not what you will find in a Toastmasters Club meeting. You can be safe to stutter or be so embarrassed that you can't talk, and we will help you to get over these stumbling blocks. The area is made up of clubs. The divisions are made up of areas. The districts are made up of divisions, and we are District 45. The regions are made up of districts, and we are Region 9. And international is made up of regions, and we are a worldwide organization. Oh, and by the way, in our worldwide organization, every single new Toastmaster starts out at the same place that you do, with your competent communications and competent leadership manuals. It might be in a different language and the script might be different, but we are all starting out from the same point. So if you go to another country to visit, or if you go to an international convention and see the many thousands of Toastmasters who attend as well, you will know that all of you, all of us, started out at the same point. There are other fun things that you can do outside of your club. Right now, we are going to have our district conference. Unfortunately, it will be our final fall district conference, but it's going to be held in Fairleigh, Vermont. It is November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It is a weekend. You will have the opportunity to meet some of the Canadian members of our district, because we are indeed spread Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. And it is so much fun to meet people who belong to your district who are across the border and you probably won't see unless you go to a district conference. So if you can, please try to attend the district conference. We are going to be having the district speech contest. You may or may not have heard about contests in your club, but we have just completed and will be finishing up the division contest level within the next week or so, and the winners will go on to compete against each other at the district conference. It's the humorous contest and the evaluation contest, and it's a lot of fun and a great education. We also have the international contest at the International Convention, and the International Convention occurs once per year in August, and those dates and further information will be published in your Toastmaster magazine, which you will be receiving. If you haven't already received a copy, you will be receiving very shortly. I talked about conferences. There are district conferences, and there is the international conference. There is something called a TLI. You may not hear about that right away, but it is Toastmasters International's way of making sure that your club leadership is trained and able to be strong and competent leaders to help you achieve your goals and your skills. Toastmasters Leadership Institutes occur twice a year, once just before the new club year begins, and the club starts July 1st and ends on June 30th. So the Toastmasters Leadership Institute will occur probably sometime in June of 2018, but we will have a midwinter training session sometime either in December or January. It's primarily geared for club officers or officers to be, and so a new member of Toastmasters might be a little overwhelmed with the information that is given, and most times they do not attend. On a more local level, there are leadership councils at the area, division, and district level. There will be a district business meeting at the conference in November, and you will be able to attend that business meeting and get some idea of how Toastmasters runs. It's a level above the club, and so you'll get an inside look at how things work. There is also the opportunity to participate in an event that is used to help a group that would like to form a new Toastmasters club to see what Toastmasters is all about. What a wonderful place for a new member to be a part and participate in because you're brand new and you have all of that new information to share. It's a demonstration meeting. And if you are able to participate in one of those, I encourage you to do that. You can put into work the things that you have learned as a new member to help and encourage a new group to form a club. Well, we have a future, a very exciting future. During the 2017 to 2018 club year, which is again July 1st through June the 30th, you will be learning how to become a better communicator and a better leader. You may be able to start working on an advanced speech manual, of which there are 15 to choose from after you are done communicator manual. So don't stop with your CC level. Go forward and learn additional skills. You can specialize. This is especially something that someone who perhaps is starting out on a new business or has been promoted and needs to give presentations to a larger group than usual. The advanced manuals will give you projects to work from. And since you've been through your competent communicator manual by that time, you will understand how to make the project instructions work for you. Sometime in 2018, I believe at this point it will be in May, Toastmasters International will be introducing to our region, Region 9, the new communication and leadership program called Pathways. You will be hearing additional information at your club and also at the district conference if you can attend that. Pathways will run concurrently with the current educational program for 2 additional years, and there will be even more information as time goes on. However, you can go on to the Toastmasters International website and get information about the Pathways program. It's an exciting innovation that I think you will find very interesting because you will be working online for a good deal of the time that you are in that program. Oh, one more quick thing while we're talking about being online. Your club has a club website. When you join the club, you will be given the opportunity to access the club website. What good is that? You will go on that line, you will log in, you'll create your own password, and then you will be able to sign up for role responsibilities for the club meeting. You will be able to work on your personal profile. There is a link, and then you will be able to email any of the club officers or even some of the other Toastmasters who are members of your club. There are links for all of this on the left side of the club web page. You will find it a very fulfilling and interesting activity when you immerse yourself in the Toastmasters program. Set your goals and then work your goals and let Toastmasters mentors and members help you to achieve those goals. You have joined a Toastmasters group, and that group will surround you with support and encouragement from all sides so that you will be able to fulfill your mission, your personal mission, and become a more exciting individual and have an exciting time. when you complete your Toastmasters, which may never happen.
Well, thank you, Olivet.
That's the end of, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's the end of the slideshow. Are there any questions?
All right, thank you, Olivet. Let's have some questions. If you guys have questions, please type them up in the chat line. Actually, boy, I should know how to say your name. Is it Bina? I'm going to unmute you, Bina. Do you have a question about filling out the member profile?
Yes, I do. I tried to fill out the members form and I wasn't able to write. So I wonder if it is protected.
Are you talking about a PDF document that someone emailed?
Yeah.
Yes.
I went to the website, international, like Toastmaster International.
Yep, toastmasters.org. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure about electronically filling that in. Toastmasters is shamefully tech unsavvy. Right. The program that Olivet mentioned about pathways, that is really, Toastmasters has taken a long time to really figure out how to do online digital.
Well, I guess the PDF files, like in my classroom, I did BBA and MBA from here. So I know when we send, and I also work for the government. So for the protection of the sender, usually the PDF files are protected documents. So one has to unprotect that. That's all it has to be done.
Well, I'm sure it's fairly straightforward. I know that I've been able to fill some out and others I'm not. So unfortunately, I don't know the secrets. But you can always print
it's not urgent. I just wanted to let you know.
Right. Okay. Do we have any other questions? There's some things that I'd like to point out. Olivet mentioned online. Our district has quite a bit of online activities. For instance, we have a district website called d45toastmasters.com. Olivet, can you navigate to that and show folks what it looks like, or do you want?
Let's see.
Just open up a new tab and, yeah.
That's easy to do.
So d45toastmasters.com has a whole bunch of basic information about our district, how to contact us. It's got information on conferences. Our newsletter is posted there. So scroll down a little bit, Olivet, and show folks the buttons. Oops.
Where it says D4 District
Just
45,
scroll down a
that's
little
where
further.
you will find the link.
Yep.
Okay, we have club, okay.
Yep, so there's a lot of useful information there. Also, you should be receiving newsletters through Constant Contact. So roughly once a month, we send out a newsletter. You can see the latest newsletter on the website. But you can also receive that newsletter, and we send out messages from the district, usually 2 to 3 messages a week. So you'll get information about upcoming events like conferences, some information on contests, and certainly the online training that we've been working on. The other thing to note is Facebook. We have a Facebook presence. I don't know if you've got that, Olivet, but anyways, if you have a Facebook profile, all you have to do is type in District 45 Toastmasters or D45 Toastmasters, and you should be able to find it. Let's see, any other? Let's see, is it Michelle? You have a question about registering. I'm going to unmute you, and can you ask your question about registering? Are you talking about the conference? Well, Michelle, do you have a microphone? Okay, all right, so to register on Toastmasters.org, if you have never registered, actually that's a good thing. That's a campaign that I'm going to start teaching folks how to log into that site. Olivette, can you go to Toastmasters.org?
Sure.
She's busy trying to find you guys the D45 Toastmasters page, but okay, so if you go to Toastmasters.org and click sign in, if you don't have an email address at the bottom, it should, or on that form somewhere, it should say forgot my address or I need to register.
Yeah, it'll come up.
So sign in is up at the top, or log in.
Would you like me to log in?
You don't need to log in, just show them the dialog that says, so if you know your information, you can log in. If you don't, down below the login button, it says forgot password. If you click there and type in your email address, the email that you are registered with through Toastmasters, you should have received an email from them when you first signed in saying welcome to Toastmasters. If you have not received any information or you don't know what your email address is that's registered with Toastmasters, contact your club officer or email me, and I can help you find your, quote, official, at least the email address that you're registered with Toastmasters. Hopefully that answers your question. I think that's a good thing. That's part of a frequently asked question kind of thing that we need to address. Okay, are there any other questions? Oops. Well, folks, I am posting, I just posted a link to a Google form. If you've ever used a Google form, it's basically an online survey, very brief survey. You can include your email address if you want. You don't have to. But basically, we're just looking for feedback from you on what you liked about this training, what you'd like to do differently. That's pretty much it. So does anyone have any last questions before we thank Olivette and close the session? Yes, someone asked about getting a mentor. In order to get a mentor for your club, you should ask your either VP Education or VP Membership, or both. Frankly, any of the club officers can help you figure out who you should work with to find a mentor. Every club has a slightly different process, but the end goal is to pair you up with someone who you're comfortable with and who has experience to help guide you through, especially through your first projects. But even beyond that, once you've joined a club and achieved some level of confidence or competence, there are always skills you want to improve. So Toastmasters has an active mentoring program for advanced members. I have several mentors, folks that help teach me some of the advanced skills, the things that I need practice on that I'm not quite good enough at performing. So anyways, the first step, ask your club officers for a mentor and get started. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Again, I posted a link on the chat box, so you can click on it, please, and give us your feedback. And you will see an email through the constant contact message sometime in the next few days that will list or it'll provide a link to the recording of this session, plus some of the other online training sessions that we've begun to collect. Well, thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Thank you, Olivette.
Thank you very much for coming to the webinar.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave this session open for a few minutes, but mute everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Olivet, I believe we're the last ones here. I guess you're ignoring me. Okay, that's okay, Olivet. I guess I can see you're having connection issues. Well, thank you very much, and maybe I'll try calling you in a few minutes. Okay, bye.